So, welcome to this live stream on YouTube. This is my first live stream on YouTube, so if things go a bit wrong, you'll know why. So, in this live stream today, what I want to talk you through is how to create your first landing page. So, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a downloadable PDF, which is one of the most popular ways of attracting people to your email list. And then I'm going to show you how to create the landing page as Inside Kit that you can then use to collect subscribers by sharing it with it. Okay, so let's start by, I'm going to go into, I'll just share my screen. So we are Inside Kit here in a demo account. So all the subscriber information in here you see is just fictitious, so you don't need to worry, I'm not disclosing anyone's details. I'm going to start off by, like I say, the most popular way of growing your list is to create a downloadable PDF. Now, if you've already got a lead magnet, which is what the downloadable PDF is, then that's great. You don't need to go and create another one. You can use the one you have. But for anyone who doesn't yet have a lead magnet, I'm going to show you how you can quickly and easily create one using Canva, which is a tool that I use. So one thing I should say is, if you're not familiar with the term lead magnet and what it is, it's essentially a way of giving something to a prospective customer or a subscriber in exchange for their email address. Okay, so you're doing this value exchange where you give them something that they're going to value, and in exchange they give you their email address, and then you can start to nurture that relationship once they're on your email list. So one of the most common ways of doing it, like I say, is a PDF on Canva. So if you get into Canva, even the free account or the paid account, doesn't matter which you've got, you can create, let's say it's an A4 document size. That's the one I tend to use. And you can create that on anything that you want. So depending on what your business type is, depending on what you offer as paid services to your customers, your clients, you want to create something that is a natural starting point for those people to come onto your list. So let's say the example I'm going to use here is, let's say you're a travel, let's say you share travel help, travel information with your audience. Inside Canva, there are templates that you can use. On the left hand side, you can see there's a button that says design. If I get in there and I just type something in there, like let's say health, let's say you're in the health industry, then you can see it brings back certain templates relating to health. Any one of these templates you can then use. If it's got this little crown sign here, you can see that means it's only part of the paid version of Canva. If you see ones that don't have the crown, they're free. Like that one there doesn't have a crown, so that's a free version you can use. And all you need to do if you want to use one of these is click on it and it puts it into the page for you. So let's imagine we're, like I say, in the travel industry, we're going to share something with people. I might want to use that as a starting point and then change it up a little bit just to make it more meaningful. So I might say delete that travel, and I might put in a text box and say travel as a solopreneur. So maybe you're going to travel as like a digital nomad, something like that, and maybe you've got a guide to help people with that. Okay, so essentially you can make this look any way you want it. I'll just change the colour of that, make it time with that, make it look and feel the way you want it, and then you just continue to add pages, and then you can add then headings onto each page, like that. You can add in text body, so if you want to type up paragraphs of information, and then you can either upload images or use the images that are provided by Canva. So let's say Canva, you click on this elements button and then do a search in there for, let's say it was London, because we're looking for places to travel to, and then click up here on photos. You can see there's different stock images that you can use. as part of your subscription. Again, you'll see the little crown here if it's a paid version image, or like this one here where it's not. So I could just click on that, put it in there, and I can make that part of my page. You just continue to do that, add the pages that you want to add in, and then once you're, I'm going to call this travel guide, travel as a solopreneur, let's say. So you've got the PDF, you've got the option to create this as a PDF document. So to do that, on the top right corner, you click share, download, and then you can see PDF standard. It is the one you want to select. PDF standard just means that the quality is good enough for sharing digitally. If you were going to send something to a printer, like get it physically printed, you would choose PDF print quality. We don't need to do that. And then essentially all you do is click the download button, and that will download the PDF document. Okay, so that's now downloading. When it arrives on my there, you can see I'll click on it, and we've now got the PDF. Okay, now I know there's nothing in it, it was just what I've typed in there, but you can imagine that's now a full-blown PDF, and it's got all the stuff you want in it for your lead magnet. Okay, so that's how to create a PDF document. You can create them quite easily, as you can see inside Canva. If you do actually want to, if you're using the paid version of Canva and you want to explore the AI part of Canva, that button up there, you can do that as well. So you can say design for me, and then down below you can see what the types of things that AI can do for you, right? And you can go and try some of them if you want. I'm saying here, create a design feature a YouTube thumbnail about my solo trip to Tokyo. Let's imagine it was that, and it will come back with a suggestion of what you might want to use, or a few suggestions. Okay. So there's those options available to you inside Canva. So ultimately the outcome of that exercise is that you end up with a downloadable PDF document that you can offer prospective subscribers. So now I'm going to move over to Inside Kit. If you're not familiar with Kit, it's an email marketing platform. You can use it to grow a list of subscribers that over time and with proper nurturing, some of those will become paying customers from your list. There's two main ways in which we attract customers to our list. The first way is using an embedded opt-in form. So I'll just show you an example of that on my website. So if I go to my website and go down to this here, so I've got a free starter guide for email marketing. This here, where it says first name, email address, and then a button, that's actually an embedded opt-in form that I placed on my website from Kit. So that's actually hosted inside Kit, and I've just got it embedded on my page. So when people fill their details in here, their name, address, and click that button, that information is taken directly from here and put into Kit. Okay, so that's the way an embedded opt-in form works. And the second option is what's known as a landing page. Now, a landing page is slightly different from an opt-in form. A landing page is a standalone, isolated page that is hosted by the email marketing platform. In this case, it's Kit. So you don't need a website to host a landing page because Kit, in this case, will do it for you. So Kit manages the page, and the actual opt-in form is embedded inside the landing page. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this session. So to get there, we get into the Grow menu, and then we go to Landing Pages and Forms. And we click Create New. And then we get offered these two options. This is the opt-in form, and this is the landing page. So I'm going to choose the landing page. And then you'll be presented with these templates. So these are pre-made templates by Kit. You can see they're all got their own special categories here, depending on what you want to do. Which one you choose is pretty irrelevant, to be honest, because they all do the same job. At the end of the day, they bring people who want to join your list into your list, so that you can then start to to communicate with them. So you can see there's quite a long list there of options. Choose whichever one you want. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to choose this one here called Oxford. So I'll click on choose. And then what Kit's doing now is it's loading a copy of that template into my Kit account. So whatever changes I make to this landing page is not affecting anyone else. It's just my local copy of this template. So once you've got it loaded in, you can then start to change it to make it look and feel a bit more like your brand, your business, how you want it to look. So let's say we've got a fictitious company called Cityscape. Get your guide to traveling like let's say in digital nomad, since that's quite a popular thing these days. So your guide might be, top tips on what to do if you're a freelancer or a solopreneur and you're traveling around working as a digital nomad. The main image you can see at the back here, probably want to change that. If I click on that up here, you can see general styles, and then down here you can see the image. I can click on that image and I can replace it with another one. I can either upload my own images, or I can use one that's provided to me by another source embedded into in Kit. Probably the one that's most commonly used is this one called Unsplash, which is a royalty-free repository of images that you can search through and then put them into your landing pages. Excuse me. So let's say I'm looking for one, and I'll look for London. Let's see. And I'll change this to landscape, so I only see landscape ones. And let's say I'm interested in, let's see that one. That looks like the London Bridge is in the background there. Okay, so now we've got a different image on there we're happy with. I would obviously change this text up as well to make that more relevant. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'll leave it. And then we get into the information we're going to collect. Now, by default, we have to collect email address. That's that's non-optional. It's a mandatory field we need to collect. Everybody in your email list has to have an email address. It sounds obvious. I always like to collect their first name as well. So I'm going to click this little plus button here, and over at the right-hand side, I'm going to choose first name. I also like to put the first name above the email address. I'm going to switch the position about that. And then the download button here, I'm going to click on that, and over at the right hand side I can change the colour if I want. So let's say I'm going to change it, make it pop a bit more. We'll change the text to maybe a darker colour, and then I'll make the button put a bit of a radius on the corner just to make it look a bit more like a button. And then I can change the text on that if I want as well. So download my free guide, let's say. This built with Kit logo. If you're on a paid plan inside Kit, you can also remove that if you want, just clicking on that. And at the top right, you can see there's a little checkbox, just deselect that. And even though you see it there kind of greyed out in the background, when it actually is visited by an email subscriber, they don't actually see anything. They don't see any image at all in there. And that's kind of it. You can add other elements into that page if you want to. You see this little plus button here. It lets you add other things in, like images, links, buttons, dividers, countdown timers, even videos and products and stuff like that. For this demo, I won't add anything in. I'll just make it a simple landing page. So all we're asking people to do is give us your first name, your email address, and then you can download your free guide. When I'm creating something like this, I tend to have an image of the thing I'm giving away. So I would typically make up my own image for the background, and in that image it would be the thing I'm giving away. So if it was a free guide, how to travel like a digital nomad, I would have an image of that so that it ties up, makes sense to the subscriber. Okay, so once we've got it looking the way we want it to look, now we want to navigate our way over to where it says settings. Before I do that, let me just check to see what's actually happening inside YouTube at the moment. Okay. Okay, so now that I've clicked on settings, the first thing that pops up is this box here, okay? And you'll see there's two options. So down the left-hand side, there's 5 tabs: General, Domain Name, Incentive, Advanced, and SEO and Analytics. So start at the top, General. You've got 2 options: either show a success message or redirect them to an external page. Now, this is what happens after they've subscribed to your list. What do you want Kit to do? And you've got these 2 options. If you choose this option, then what it does is it shows whatever message you've got typed in here to the subscriber on the page they're on. If you choose this option, you need to give it a URL. In other words, a link to take that subscriber to show them more information, whatever that may be. So that could be a web page on your website that just says thanks for joining, and maybe a video introducing yourself, or it could be anything on that page. However, what I like to do is there's a third option you can use in here. I'm just going to cancel out here to show you. You can see there's only 2 options in here at the moment, and I'm going to make a third option up here. But I need to click cancel here first of all. If we look at the top here, I'm going to rename this landing page. Okay, so I tend to name my landing pages like this. Let's say Digital Nomad Guide. Let's call it that. You'll see a button next to it says Add Page. Now that's what's known as a thank you page. So if I click on that, it will go away and it will create a thank you page based on what the landing page looks like. So you can see it's got a similar look and feel. It's got the same images, same text, type, etc. in there. So we can decide, rather than sending a default message or take them to another URL, we can just take them to the thank you page. So in here, in the thank you page, I might put in here some contextual information to say, thanks for subscribing. Please check your email inbox for a confirmation email, something like that. I might say also check your spam folder. Now I could put in there, if I wanted to, a video, like I said earlier, of me talking about it, etc. But just know that whatever you put in there is what the subscriber's going to see as soon as they've clicked that submit button. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the settings, and this time when I look at the general options, you can see now we've got this third option, which is in the middle here, redirect to a thank you page. So that's the option that I'm going to choose here. Okay. The next thing is domain name. Now, when you set up your Kit account, you're automatically allocated a free domain as part of your Kit subscription, and it is suffixed with this .kit.com domain. So in this case, in this demo site, in this demo account, I've got kitmastery.kit.com is my free domain. However, you can also add in your own custom domains if you want to. So in this case, I've got this one here, pages.kitmastery.com, which is a domain I own. So you've got the option of either having your own domain like this one, or using the one that Kit gives you for free. It's entirely up to you which one you use. They both do exactly the same thing. So let me stick with that one, and then down here what you can see is it forms a URL. Now this is the URL that you're going to share with your audience. You're going to put this out onto your social platforms, out into your publishing platforms if you publish anywhere, on your email signature, wherever you're going to put that link. This is the link you're going to share with them. the first part of the URL is based on what you've selected up here. And then after that, you've got the opportunity to put a suffix, the bit after the / so that it's a unique URL based on this landing page. So I might call this one Digital Nomad, let's say guide, okay? And then what I'll do is I click this add button, and then you'll see at the bottom underneath there, it's now generated this URL, okay? So I can now copy this URL and start sharing it with people so that they can come and sign up for my downloadable guide. You can have multiple URLs if you want. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to use one at the moment. By the way, the reason you might want to have more than one is that, let's say you're active on 2 social platforms. Let's say you're active on LinkedIn and on Instagram. So you could create one URL for your LinkedIn audience and another for your Instagram, and then you could track which one is performing the best, or better of the two, should I say. The next tab, which is the last one we're going to look at in here, is the incentive. Now, the incentive is essentially the confirmation email that Kit sends to the subscriber if you operate what's known as a double opt-in policy. So if you're not familiar with the term opt-in policy, double or single opt-in policy, let me just pause for a minute to explain the difference between the two. If you operate a single opt-in policy, then if someone comes to your opt-in form or landing page and submits their details, as soon as those details are sent to Kit, Kit will then automatically mark them as a confirmed subscriber, and then depending on how you've got your Kit account set up, it may start trying to send them emails, okay? Contrast that with a double opt-in where when someone submits their details, they send it to Kit. Kit then sends them what's known as an incentive email, a confirmation email, and says, I notice it appears you just tried to sign up to my email list. Can you please confirm it was you? This is your email address and you do want to be added to the list. If that person then clicks on that button inside that email and says, yes, it was me, please add me, then that message gets sent back to Kit and says, yeah, it was them, please mark them as a confirmed subscriber. Kit then does that, marks them as confirmed, and then can start to send emails to them. Now, if it's not already obvious, the differences between one and the other, if you go with a single opt-in, then it's very simple for a number of things to happen to have a potential negative impact on your email list. So, for example, if I go to someone's opt-in form and they're using a single opt-in policy, I could type in any old rubbish in there and click submit, and when that goes to the email marketing platform, I'll automatically be marked as a confirmed subscriber, and then subsequently after that, if they try and send me emails, it will just bounce because it's a fictitious email address. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the bot activity. So when you've got opt-in forms and landing pages available on the internet, you're also making them available to automated bots, right? So there's going to be bots that are potentially going to come across your opt-in forms and they're going to barrage your list with, let's say, hundreds or even thousands of email addresses. And if it's a single opt-in policy, then they're all being marked as confirmed subscribers, and that could potentially have a negative impact on your email list. So those are the kind of main ones. The other one that you can do is, like, if I had, let's say, your email address, for example, I could take your email address, which is a valid and serviceable email address. I could take your email address and use it to subscribe to that thing, to whatever that is, that landing page, that opt-in form. And then what happens is you start to receive emails and you're wondering, why am I getting these emails? I never subscribed to this. But it was me because I knew your email address. So that's another thing that can happen. If you use a double opt-in policy, you've got that safeguard of that extra step where someone needs to click a button to say, I do have access to that email address. It is mine. It was me that asked to join your list, so I'll click the button and we're all good. So it's entirely up to you which one you use. My recommendation is if you're just getting started, go with a double opt-in policy, and that'll keep you safe, and at least until you get familiar with how it all works. And then there's other ways in which you can safeguard yourself once you become a bit more familiar with email marketing. So let's go back to this landing page settings form. So in here we've got this checkbox that says send incentive email. If I don't select that, then I'm essentially choosing a single opt-in. Also, if I check this one, it says auto confirm new subscribers. Likewise, I'm automatically confirming the subscribers regardless of whether the email address is fictitious or not, whether or not the email address owner gave permission or not. So I'm going to deselect that. My recommendation for these settings is just to take the default settings, because that's set up purposefully to operate as a double opt-in policy. Okay. This button here says edit email contents. When I click this, it's opening up the email editor, and it's got the default message that's going to be sent to people who subscribe to your list. Okay. Now you can configure this form to make it look and feel the way you want it. You can change the subject line up here if you want. So I could say, let's say action required. Please confirm your subscription, something like that. So that's what they'll see in their inbox. And then down here I can start to change, like if I want to change the color of that button, I can do that. Please confirm this is your email address. I could change it to something like that. The other thing I tend to do is I also add a visual reminder of what the thing is they signed up for. So for example, if it was the Digital Nomad Guide, I would have an image in there of the Digital Nomad Guide, because what sometimes can happen is people can subscribe to your list via an opt-in form or landing page, and then they might not check their email again until maybe the next day or even a couple of days later. And when they come back to it, they're like, I don't even remember signing up, what is this? But if you've got a visual reminder in there, then it's obviously quite helpful for the people to say, okay, I remember that. And then you can just add in your own however you want to sign off your emails, and then click save, and that's your incentive email all configured. The last two buttons here, advanced and SEO and analytics, I would just leave as is. Just choose the default. Once you get a bit more familiar with email marketing and what these ones do, then you can start to configure these two. But for the moment, don't worry about them. Just leave them as is. It's only these three at the top you need to do something with. So we've now covered the general, the domain, and the incentive. The final thing on the incentive is you've got this option here. It says after confirming, redirect the subscriber to either a URL or to a downloadable asset. So in this case, I've already created a downloadable PDF that I showed you on Canva, and I can either direct them to the URL of that PDF if I store it on, let's say, a cloud-based storage platform like Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Docs, something like that. I can put in the URL in here to a Google Doc or something like that. Or I've got the option here of clicking the download button. If I do that, then what Kit will ask me to do is to upload a PDF document from my either from my laptop, my desktop, or from some other resource, and upload it to Kit, and then Kit will store that PDF for me. And then every time someone subscribes to that document, to the list for that guide, Kit will then send a copy of that PDF to them on my behalf. Now, the advantage of one or the other is as follows. If I send a link, if I send people to a link, and at some point if I update that document, let's say it's the Digital Nomad Guide, and let's say after 3 months I go and I change that document, I update it, I may have some more new tips to add in, or I've just been on another trip and I want to add details about that trip in there. If I've got the link to that document in Kit, then I don't need to worry about the subscribers. They will always get the latest version because I'm using that link. Contrast that with uploading the actual PDF document to Kit, then what the subscriber will get is the most recent version of that document that's been uploaded to Kit. So you can see the positive and the negative. It's entirely up to you which one you choose. The default URL is just a standard message that Kit provides that your subscribers will be taken to. If I just copy that URL and show you what that looks like, it's just a default URL. This here, subscription has been confirmed, and then a little bit of advertising for Kit. So I'm happy with that. I'll just leave that at the moment, and I'll just say save. And I'll go back to the thank you page, and you can see in here that up here at the top right, you can see I've got the option of share and publish. So I'm going to click publish first of all. You can see it's down the bottom, it says you've been published, and then I click share. And then what it does is it shows me two things. It showed me a way of just giving them a link. I can copy this link. Now, you'll notice this is different from the link that I actually created. This has got a random bunch of numbers and letters. Now, this is automatically created by Kit for every landing page that you create. However, if you want to, you can embed it using embed code, or you can share it using any of these social links here as well. If I copy that, click on that little link there and put it into a browser tab and click go, you can see it brings back that form. Now if I change that and I change it to Digital Nomad Guide, which is the other one that I actually I made a mistake on that, so I actually put that URL into the thank you page. So I'll show you what I did there. So I've got the landing page here and the thank you page here. When I created that URL, I actually created it for the thank you page in here rather than the actual landing page itself. So I'm going to delete that in there and say OK, and I'm going to click save, and then go back to the landing page, and then go into this here. I'm going to say Digital Nomad Guide. Okay, and then click add. You can see it's added that in there now. I'm going to click save, and now when I go back to refresh that, instead of showing you the thank you page, it shows you the actual landing page. So that becomes the URL that you can now share on social media. So if you were going to share this on, let's say, LinkedIn or Instagram or something, you just take that URL, copy it, and then paste it into your social post, and people can click on it. And then once they get there, they're going to put in their first name and then their email address. So if I say John@flows.com and then download my free guide. You'll remember how I configured this. I configured it so that it takes me to the thank you page. Remember, I had the options, the 3 different options. So when I click this download my free guide, what I'll expect to see is the thank you page. So click that. And it takes me to that thank you page. Okay. If I go to my email, I'll show you the email that just arrived there. So this is the email that's just arrived in my inbox. Now you can't see that. You can't see it because I'm sharing. Hang on, let me try and share this. Let me add this, and I will. So let me. So can you see that? Hopefully you can. So this is the email that arrived. So just saying thanks for signing up. Please confirm this is your email address. It's good to have you here. And then when I click that, so if I just go to my email and click that, then what you see is that confirmation message there, subscription confirmed. So that's it. We've created the PDF. I've shown you how to create the landing page, how to get the URL for the landing page by copying that, and then you can start to share that. That URL with your audience so that they can then start to subscribe to your list by submit their details, and they'll also download that document or whatever it is you've created. The other thing you can do if you don't want to create a PDF, you can actually create like an email sequence. So you could say, a free 7-day course that you could effectively create emails to be drip fed to people over 7 days, and that could be your lead magnet. It's really up to you what you want to use as your lead magnet, but essentially, as long as you're providing something of value that people are going to want, then there's a chance that they're going to sign up to it. So that's all I've got to share on this session. I have no idea if anyone's been even on this. Probably not. Let me just check on my other screen to see if there's any comments or questions. No, nothing. Okay. Right, so hopefully that was helpful. I'll leave it there. If you're watching this on the replay and you've got any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, that's it. Take care. Thank you.